We've already had several videos about the dead franchise parade that 20th Century Fox, and later the Mouse House, kept trying to resuscitate. Usually these attempts end with a whimper, or in the case of 2018's The Predator, a loud, confusing crash involving weaponized autism. But then, out of nowhere, Dan Trachtenberg came out of the bushes with Prey, delivered a hit on Hulu, and proved that you don't need a budget the size of a small country's GDP to make a good monster movie. Naturally, the studio bosses looked at this success, rubbed their hands together and said, "Great, now do it again, but bigger, weirder, and please, make sure we can sell plush toys of something." And that is how we ended up with Predator: Badlands. A movie that somehow manages to be a brooding character study about a space alien with daddy issues and a Disney princess movie disguised as a sci-fi slaughterhouse. Today, we're looking at how Trachtenberg tried to reinvent the wheel for the second time and whether this successful experiment is actually worth your time or just another attempt to sell popcorn buckets. Unlike Prey, which went back to basics, Badlands decided to throw the basics out the window. Trachtenberg and his writer Patrick Eisen came up with a pitch that sounded like fever dream fan fiction. What if the Predator was the good guy, and what if he was a short king? Meet Dek. He's a Yautja, but he's the runt of the litter. His dad, a clan leader named Nyor, wants him dead because apparently Predator society has very strict height requirements. So Dek runs away to a planet called Genna to kill an unkillable monster and prove he's not a total loser. It's essentially The Lion King, but if Simba ripped people's spines out, but a silent protagonist who only speaks in clicks and roars is a hard sell for a 2-hour runtime. You need dialogue. Enter Elle Fanning, playing a Weyland-Yutani synthetic named Thea, or rather, half of Thea. For a good chunk of the movie, our hero is carrying her around like a high-tech backpack because her legs got ripped off. It's a buddy cop movie where one cop is a murder crab from space and the other is a cynical torso. And surprisingly, it works. Fanning brings that same chaotic energy she had in The Great, essentially acting as the translator and emotional support animal for a monster that usually skins people for sport. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather the baby Yoda in the room. This is the first Predator movie rated PG-13. I can already hear the typing in the comments. Disney ruined it. Where is the gore? Well, the gore is there, but it's loophole gore. Since Dek is fighting aliens and robots, the fluids splashing everywhere are green and white, not red. So the MPAA sat there, shrugged, and said, well, it's not human blood, so the kids are safe. And speaking of kids, the studio clearly mandated a mascot. They gave us Bud, a native creature that looks like it was designed in a lab specifically to sell merchandise at Target. It's cute, it's cuddly, and it helps the Predator commit murder. It's cynical corporate marketing at its finest, but damn it, it's effective. So how did this gamble pay off? Well, it didn't flop. In fact, it's technically the highest grossing solo Predator movie of all time, sitting pretty at around $174 million worldwide. It managed to beat out the 2018 disaster and even edged past Creed in some markets. However, if you look at its cousin, Alien Romulus, which pulled in over $350 million, Badlands looks a bit like the runt it portrays on screen. It did well, but it didn't set the world on fire. It's in that strange, successful failure territory where it made money. The critics gave it a certified fresh sticker, but nobody is quite sure if we need a sequel. In the end, Predator. Badlands is a weird beast. It's a movie that swaps machismo for found family, turns the ultimate hunter into an underdog, and features Elle Fanning fighting a mech suit. It shouldn't work. It sounds like a bad idea pitched at 3 a.m. But thanks to Trachtenberg's direction, it's actually good. It's not the gritty horror of 1987. It's a sci-fi adventure that feels more like Avatar with an attitude problem. If you can get past the lack of skinned green berets, you might actually enjoy the ride. Just don't ask about the plush toys. Stay tuned, and don't forget to check your localized subtitles.